The new exotic shotgun is finally out. That means we have to pair it with striker and call it a meta. What, isn't that the tradition here on YouTube? Don't worry, that's why you have me. See, since you're going to be finding the striker build with the new shotgun fairly easily on YouTube, I'm going to show you something that you won't. I have 3 variants that I want to show you right now with the new exotic shotgun. So without any further ado, let me show you the builds by starting with the weapons first. Now, as for the weapon, obviously is the new exotic shotgun. Sheriff is the name. You get it from Master Difficulty mission as a guaranteed drop once you finish the mission, but you can also get it on lower difficulty, something like Heroic. I would recommend you to farm on that. There is a chance, though it's not guaranteed, because the Master mission is a little bit buggy, so there's that. I actually have 2 of them, as you can see. No, I'm not flexing here. I only got this one first. My friend just dropped me this one because it had damage to target out of cover already on it. So before you murder me in the comment section saying that I have 2, you have none, try making some friends. It actually helps. Now, as for the weapon's talent, you can see it's pretty unique. You get that 35% of weapon damage, 100% accuracy, and basically no damage drop-off. And all of these bonuses are built into the weapon's base stats. That's what it says here. The damage drop-off is crazy, I know. Like, the range is insane. But the question is, can you actually hit the enemies that are very, very far away? Like, what's the point of having so much range if you can't hit your enemies, right? Because of, you know, the bullet spread, that is. So that's where the accuracy comes into play. Like, if you take a look at your weapons compared to mine, you'll see your accuracy is a bit lower. And same with the stability, and your reload time will be higher, like beyond 3 seconds. But that's the build that is giving me this amazing stats here, which I'll show you in a moment. But I can safely say that I was able to hit enemies with every single shotgun pellets that was like 30 meters range. Is that when they start hitting to that 35 plus meter, that's where I was failing to hit every single shot with this much of accuracy, because even though I'm using this weapon as a rifle, it's not a rifle, it's a shotgun. And compared to any other shotgun that we have in the game, yes, it is way better. Like shotguns will have like optimal range of 16, some even have 11, and will fail to hit every single shotgun pellets to enemies that are beyond like 10 meters, right? But in this case, with this shotgun, yes, we were hitting every single shotgun pellets to enemies that was beyond 25-30 meters, which was amazing. And I would say that's really good. Like, don't think that this is a rifle, although use it as a rifle, if that makes any sense. Now, as for the build, let's just start with the first variant here. I am using Concentrated Company gear set on it, and as we all know, this is an insanely powerful gear set. It literally turns a legendary mission into, heroic. That's how it feels like. Like, it does crazy amount of damage. There's no doubt about that. Now, it is also a new player-friendly gear set. Not the exotics, just the gear set I'm talking about, by the way, because it gives you crazy amount of crit damage, right? So that's the reason why. Now, also, you can use any weapon with this because it doesn't give you something like a SMG damage, LMG damage, assault rifle damage or something. It gives you weapon damage, means any weapon you have, you can use it. Rifles, assault rifles, LMGs, or in this case, shotgun. And it also gives you 30% of weapon handling, which is really helpful for the shotgun that we're using because it gives you more accuracy, stability, reload speed, which the shotgun absolutely needs. So yeah, this is really helpful. And 4-piece where all the magic happens. It gives you crazy amount of weapon damage and crit damage. And I love this. Like, usually I don't like stacks on this game, and everything is a stacks in this game, unfortunately. But this one is good. You know why? Because you don't lose this. You gain the stacks very quickly when you play in a group, and you also keep the stacks with you basically forever. Like, you don't lose it as much as you would do with something like Striker or Heartbreaker. Like, you can take the stacks, almost full stacks, from one room to another. That's how good it is. And now, as for the attributes, I'm using weapon damage, crit chance, and crit chance mod. Like I said, just focus on crit chance, get at least 55% because we get a lot of crit damage from the gear set. Now, I'm also using the chest piece here, as you can see. Now, most of you would say that the chest piece is kind of useless, but the way I am playing it, it actually is kind of useful for me because it increases the amount of marks I can put on the enemy from 4 to 8. Now, honestly, I'm not utilizing the whole 8 stacks, but at least I can get like 5 to 6 marks on the enemies, which is really helpful because I can gain the stacks really quickly on this gear set with the help of my team members, obviously, because they're damaging my marked enemies. And if I mark more enemies, obviously, I'm going to get the stacks really quickly. But hey, if you don't like it, you can change it. You can use something like Equalizer. So this is the alternative you can do. Equalizer will give you obviously perfect obliterate. You can do that and then change the holster to the gear set. So you can make that change. Now for the chest piece attribute, if you want to know, I have obviously crit chance and crit chance mod. Now for the holster, like I said, you can change it to the gear set. But the reason why I'm not doing it, because I'm using the spot on holster, which is the named item, obviously. It gives you 38% of accuracy here and also 10% accuracy from the set bonus from the Urban Lookout brand set. Now this is very important because it reduces the reticle, you know, the crosshair, basically the shotgun ring that is. It's very small for me. Like there is literally no spread for me, and I'm using the shotgun as a rifle. So I am not range restricted, obviously, because the shotgun doesn't have any issue with the range. So I try to reduce the accuracy there, or increase rather in this case, and reduce the reticle so I can hit enemies that are very, very far away. It is my playstyle. I'm using it like that, but you might not like it. If you don't like it, you could obviously do the change. The only thing you have to worry about is to survive, which for that, I have the Banshee Pulse. It helps. You can also use a healing drone or something. You can do that. Plus Gunner gives you 10% armor and kill. So yeah, that kind of helps as well. So yeah, it absolutely shreds things, man. Now, if I show you my stats on this, you can see my crit chance is really high. Like I said, focus on the crit chance. Crit damage is pretty nice. You don't have to worry about anything. Now, if I show you my accuracy, look at that. Look at the accuracy over here and the stability. So yeah, I have literally no spread on it and my shots actually land. So like I said, I'm using the shotgun as a rifle. Now, as for the second variant of the build, I'm using Negotiator's Dilemma gear set. Absolutely love it. It's my favorite gear set in the game and nothing will change my opinion on that. It holds a very special spot in my heart. This is the first ever gear set build I made on the channel. And back in the days when everything was so difficult to clear, like even heroic missions would take like more than 30 minutes. Yeah, this used to do it under 20. It's just the GOAT back then. And for me, it's still a legend of a gear set. And I use this as a template ever since the Overdogs gloves came out. I used to use Coyote Mask on it, but since Overdogs came out, I use it like this. I always use the Steelworks chest piece because it gives me 10% armor and kill. I have crit damage, crit chance mod with the Obliterate talent. If you want, you can use you know, the equalizer here, but I recommend the, you know, the Steelworks because of the armor and kill. Plus, if you add the Gunner armor and kill, you have 20%. And since Negotiator is doing 3 instances of damage, you basically gonna trigger the 3 kills. So basically 60% of armor and kill you're gonna get like that, and that's the reason why I use it. Plus, Negotiator is also a very you know, new player friendly gear set because it gives you a lot of crit chance and crit damage from the set bonuses, and you don't have to worry about any stacks on this. It's basically point and shoot. But then again, it is division game, so there will be some stacks. So you do have that crit damage kind of stacks that you build up over time when you're in combat, you know, after getting killed. So there's that. Otherwise, yeah, it basically point and shoot. Now, for my mask attributes, I have weapon damage, crit chance mod. For the holster, I have weapon damage, crit damage. For the knee pads, I have weapon damage, crit damage. And for the backpack, I have weapon damage, and crit chance mod. You absolutely need the backpack for Negotiator because when you mark the 2 other enemies, they will take way more damage than the actual enemy you're targeting and hitting because of the backpack. So it gives you that 112% extra damage on them, the marked enemies, instead of just 60%. So that's why it's important there. And if I show you my stats on it, you can see crit chance is really good. Crit damage is also good. You'll get even more, you know, if you fire and get the kills in combat. So there's that. So that's the second variant of the build. Right, now as for the final variant of the build, honestly, I have way too many variants thought in my mind, but the video is getting longer, so I'm gonna keep it within 3 builds only, and I will drop them in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. And also, hey, if you have any builds that you want to suggest me, you can let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear that, because I love making weird builds. Now, speaking of weird builds, here's one right here. Since both the builds I showed you, which had like more damage into it, I thought how about make something a bit more survivability on it. So this is why I chose this. So I have 3 pieces of Gila here. As you can see, I have the mask, which is chill out. So we get total armor. More armor is more regen. We get 2% regen from hit as well. So I have crit chance. That the crit chance is mod, by the way, since it's chill out. And I have protection from elite mods. For the chest piece, I chose a Bellstone for that 1% armor regen. I have crit damage, crit chance, and protection from elite mods with the Obliterate talent. If you want to use Intimidate, you can do that. I also have another chest piece again here with Bellstone that has Intimidate. So if you want, you can use that. I'm keeping with the spot on holster on this one because, you know, accuracy, so that's why. And this build also doesn't have any range restriction. Like all the 3 builds that I showed you, none of them has any sort of range restriction on it. So you don't have to worry about hitting from a certain range. Since the shotgun doesn't have any range problems, I made sure the builds also doesn't restrict you with range as well, with all the 3 variants that I showed you. Now, for the knee pads, I have a Gilligard knee pads with crit chance and crit damage. Gloves is obviously Overdogs for the damage, you know, the amplified damage. And the backpack, I have Gilligard here. I don't know why I have armor regen. It's whatever. So it should be crit damage, crit chance, you know, protection from elite and Bloodsucker talent. Now, honestly, I would prefer something like, you know, Adrenaline Rush talent rather than Bloodsucker, because Bloodsucker obviously relies on kill, where Adrenaline Rush will basically work all the time for you. So that's nice. And especially if you're using Intimidate talent on the chest piece, I would say Adrenaline Rush will be better choice than just, Bloodsucker there. But if you're using Obliterate on the chest piece and you don't want bonus armor, you can add a damage talent, to increase your damage even further. So yeah, you could do that. Now, if you want more regen on the build and you don't want the Overdose gloves, you can definitely make the swap. Make sure your gloves is like Gilligard gloves, and then the backpack is like Memento backpack. You can do that change. It'll give you a crazy amount of regen. And if I show you my stats on it, you can see crit chance pretty good. Crit damage is alright. Now, here's a funny thing about this build. I know this is focused on the exotic shotgun, which is Sheriff. It actually does like 3 to 4 tap on the enemies with this build. But if I switch to my M80 Express, this actually 2-shots them. That's the fun part. But it's very slow because of the RPM. And I have really good expertise here, and the Brazen talent make sure it's 2 taps the elite enemies fairly easily. So I'm trying to increase this, and then it will be really good because I'm really tanky in it and very good damage coming out from the shotguns there. But if I can manage to get that to hit like 2 to 3 shots, then I can do that from range. So that'll be hilarious. So that's my goal here right now. So this is the third variant and the final variant. So that's basically for the build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe maybe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.